Help support the companies that support our community. After I got it drilled with the forstner bit, went ahead and slid the headstock all the way down to the end of the lathe. It's just much more comfortable to stand down there and do hollowing than leaning over the bed. So I went ahead and got everything set up. For this hollow form, I used the EasyWood, the Pro Series. They have 20-inch handles on them, so lots of leverage, and especially on a big piece like this. I went ahead and started out with the #1 and just kind of got the top part of it cleaned out on the inside, and then I switched over and used the #2 and #3 to get right back around the shoulder on it. And so you just kind of work your way through it. Whatever you can't reach with the #2, then you come in with the #3. Those tools, the 2 and 3, you have to back the head, the tail, or the tool rest up just a little bit, because they sit flat on the part that's right behind the cutter there, so you have to back them up just a little bit to get a nice flat surface. We went in and got that shoulder cleaned up, and then came back in with the #1 and finished hollowing out the whole inside of it. After I got it hollowed out, slid the headstock back down and started sanding it. Ran through a couple of grits with the drill and the sanding pad, and then hand sanded it
up to 400, and then for the oil I went ahead and finished that off and did 600 with the oil. So when I was turning this piece, it was kind of like a little bit of a crotch part on it. So at the very top of it, there's 2 pits up there. So it was like I wanted to get as much of the heartwood, but just kind of leave some of the sapwood too, because it has some really cool worm trails in it too, and I wanted to leave those. So I think the color on it is amazing. That oil just really makes it pop. So I went ahead and did that, and then spun it around on the lathe and put in the pin jaws so they would go inside of it, and brought the tailstock back up and turned the bottom of the vase off. I turned off the bottom with the spindle gouge, so it's just kind of pressed in here. I used the kitchen, the non-skid stuff, and put it in there, expanded the jaws just a little bit, and then brought the tailstock up and put a little bit of pressure on it. So I took light little cuts on this until I got it all cleaned up, and then I went ahead and went through the whole sanding process again. A couple of grits on the sanding pad with the drill, and then switched over and hand sanded up to 400 before finishing off with the Howard's beeswax and orange oil at 600. I know I said it before, but I just love the way the oil brings out the color and the richness in the wood. It just really makes it pop. So it's just, I went ahead and sanded up with 600 again, finished the whole piece again with the oil, and then I pulled it off the lathe, put the Jacobs chuck in the headstock, the sanding pad on there, and went ahead and finished off the bottom of it, and then just a little bit of oil with 600 on that. All right, there we go. It's 9 inches tall and 5.5 inches in diameter, and again, it's out of a piece of acacia. So I got this about a year, or a little over a year ago, down in Phoenix when we were down there. Went over to Alan's house and hang out with him and his wife. Thank you so much, Alan. This was one of the pieces he gave me, but it's just a beautiful piece. Has 2 pits on the top of it there, so it's kind of just a cool piece. It has some great color in it with the heartwood and sapwood. And then I really wanted to, once I started cutting into it, I saw those tracks in it, so I wanted to leave that. It's just a nice little touch, but it was a fun turn. And I turned hollowed out the whole inside with the Easy Wood, the Pro ones with the longer handles, so you got lots of stability with those. So it's a cool one. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we will see you next week. All right, take care.